Seeing beyond the mask. When you encounter a narcissist, what you often see is not who they truly are. They have mastered the art of wearing masks, of creating illusions so convincing that even the most intuitive person can be fooled at first. They project confidence, power, and control. They present themselves as if they are the ones with all the answers, as if the world revolves around their presence. But beneath that carefully constructed exterior lies a truth they will never speak aloud, and that truth is rooted in fear. The hidden thoughts of a narcissist are not filled with the certainty they try to project. Instead, they are plagued by insecurities, comparisons, and doubts. When they see you, they see more than you realize. They see qualities within you that they lack but secretly crave. They see your capacity to love deeply, and it unsettles them. They notice your resilience when life challenges you, and it makes them feel small. They observe your ability to connect authentically with others, something they struggle with, and it fills them with envy. What they will never say is that you intimidate them. Not because you try to overpower them, but because your light exposes the cracks in their facade. Your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your authenticity highlights their deception. Your growth threatens their stagnation. And while they may smile, flatter, or manipulate, beneath it all is a voice inside them whispering, "This person is everything I can't be." This is why they work so hard to tear you down. They don't want you to realize the power you carry. They want you to doubt yourself. Because if you ever fully step into your strength, they lose the fragile control they cling to. The mask they wear is not to impress you. It is to protect themselves from the truth, that deep down, they know you are stronger than they are. The silent struggle within them, behind the narcissist's words, actions, and manipulations, lies an inner world filled with turmoil. On the surface, they may appear arrogant, confident, or untouchable, but inside, there is a constant struggle they try desperately to hide. Their hidden thoughts are not of superiority, but of comparison. When they look at you, they measure themselves against you in ways you could never imagine. They see your kindness, and it reminds them of their inability to truly feel compassion. They see your independence, and it highlights their desperate need for control. They see your growth, and it makes them panic because growth to them feels like abandonment. Every time you rise higher, they feel smaller. Every time you choose peace, they feel chaos. Every time you shine, their shadows grow darker. Their insults, their criticisms, and their attempts to belittle you are not reflections of truth. They are reflections of envy. Every harsh word is really a confession. Every attempt to control you is really an admission of their fear of losing you. Every manipulative tactic is rooted in the silent awareness that their influence over you is slipping away. What they will never say out loud is that they admire the very qualities they attack. When they call you too sensitive, what they're really thinking is, "I wish I could feel as deeply as you do." When they label you as too independent, what they're really admitting is, "Your freedom terrifies me because I cannot control it." When they accuse you of being too much, what they're really revealing is, "Your light is overwhelming and I don't know how to handle it." These hidden thoughts are not about you, they are about them. They reveal the cracks in their armor, the vulnerability they work so hard to conceal. And while they may never admit it, the truth is that their obsession with controlling you is rooted in the silent recognition that they are losing control of themselves, rising above their hidden thoughts. Once you understand the hidden thoughts of a narcissist, something within you shifts. You begin to realize that their opinions, their projections, and their judgments were never about you. They were reflections of the battles they fight within themselves. Their rejection is not proof of your unworthiness. It is evidence of their fear. Their criticism is not a statement of truth. It is a confession of envy. Their attempts to control are not acts of power. They are acts of desperation. And here is where your awakening comes. You no longer have to carry the weight of their hidden thoughts. You don't need their validation, because their validation is rooted in emptiness. You don't need their approval, because their approval comes from a place of insecurity. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who is threatened by it. Rising above means reclaiming your power. It means standing in your truth even when they try to twist it. It means refusing to shrink yourself just to make them comfortable. It means understanding that their hidden thoughts say more about them than they ever could about you. When you stop absorbing their projections as your identity, you begin to live freely. Instead of asking, "Why don't they value me?" you start affirming, "I already hold value within." Instead of seeing their rejection as a reflection of your lack, you see it as confirmation of your strength. And instead of letting their hidden thoughts dictate your worth, you rise above them with the awareness that your light cannot be dimmed. This is your spiritual victory. Not by fighting them, not by proving them wrong, but by living authentically, joyfully, and powerfully. When you awaken to the truth of who you are, no hidden thought, no manipulative tactic, and no false mask can ever touch your spirit again. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to take a deep breath and let everything you've just heard sink in. You've seen behind the mask, you've uncovered the silent struggle, and you've realized the truth. The hidden thoughts narcissists carry about you are not about your lack, but about your strength. Their thoughts, their projections, their criticisms, they were never the truth of who you are. They were only shadows cast by their fear of your light. Think about it. Every time they tried to belittle you, it was because they recognized something powerful within you that they could not control. Every time they called you too sensitive, it was because they envied your ability to feel deeply. Every time they accused you of being too much, it was because your energy, your authenticity, and your spirit were overwhelming to someone who survives by hiding behind masks. And every time they tried to make you doubt yourself, it was because they feared the day you would see yourself clearly. And that day is here. This is not just about understanding the psychology of a narcissist. This is about understanding your own soul's awakening. Because once you realize that their hidden thoughts are simply reflections of their wounds, you stop carrying them as your identity. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into their fragile reality. You stop mistaking their fear for your weakness. And in that moment, you step into your true freedom. Freedom is not found in trying to change them. Freedom is not found in trying to prove them wrong. Freedom is not found in waiting for them to finally see your worth. Freedom is found the moment you decide that your worth was never up for debate. Freedom is found in the moment you choose yourself, fully, unapologetically, and without hesitation. This is the spiritual victory, realizing that no hidden thought, no manipulation, no mask can diminish the light of who you are. You are not defined by what they think, say, or do. You are defined by the truth of your soul, the love you carry, the resilience you embody, the authenticity that shines through every part of your being. And here's something powerful to remember. Their hidden thoughts about you are not just a sign of their insecurity. They are also proof of your impact. If you were not powerful, they would not feel threatened. If you were not radiant, they would not feel the need to dim you. If you were not extraordinary, they would not work so hard to convince you that you are ordinary. Their hidden thoughts are silent acknowledgments of your greatness, even if they will never speak it aloud. So what do you do now? You rise. You rise above their projections. You rise above their fear. You rise above the limitations they try to place on you. And you rise not with bitterness, not with anger, but with clarity and peace. Because you don't need to fight battles with people who are already fighting wars within themselves. You don't need to chase validation from those who cannot even validate themselves. And you don't need to prove anything to anyone who has already secretly admitted through their actions and hidden thoughts that you are more than they can handle. Instead, you focus on yourself. You focus on your healing, your growth, your joy. You focus on surrounding yourself with people who celebrate your light instead of fearing it. You focus on building a life that reflects the truth of who you are, not the illusions of who someone else wants you to be. And most of all, you focus on remembering that your power comes not from being accepted by others, but from being aligned with your own soul. This is where your journey turns into transformation. The The narcissist's hidden thoughts no longer bind you because you have uncovered them, understood them, and released them. You no longer need to wonder what they think because what they think is no longer relevant. You no longer need to carry their shadows because you were born to shine. And as you walk forward, remember this. Your strength is not in how the narcissist views you, but in how you view yourself. Your power is not in their hidden thoughts, but in your awakened awareness. Your freedom is not in their acceptance, but in your decision to live in truth. So today, let this be your declaration. I am not defined by the hidden thoughts of others. I am defined by the light within me. I release the shadows of insecurity, manipulation, and fear. I choose authenticity. I choose growth. I choose freedom. You have already won. The very fact that you are here, seeking truth, absorbing wisdom, and opening your heart to this awakening is proof that you have risen above. No hidden thought, no false mask, no last attempt at control can stop the soul that has remembered its power. Walk in that truth, live in that light, and never again allow the hidden thoughts of others to dim the brilliance of who you are.